Okay, welcome everybody. It's Warwick Russell from Smetric Insights. I just want to thank Carl for the opportunity to present today, and what I suggest we do, if you have any queries or questions as you go through this, just flag them and we'll answer them on the way. So what I've got here is I'll just take you through a presentation of what we're about, where we've got to. So who we are, there's a team of 6 of us with a combination of business expertise, mostly CFO, and also data science, engineering and analytics. We're primarily focused on mid-sized companies with a turnover of 5 million to 50 million. Smetric Consulting was commenced in 2010, really around our CFO type background, around fix, grow and exit. Fix, grow and exit. And one of the reasons why we established Smetric Insights was to escape Excel hell, because we found that trying to do more work with our clients around analytics was just not scalable. So the agenda I'd like to cover off today is what we see as the mid-market client problems and opportunities to take them to a new level. Our views on providing clients with a better solution. I'll cover off some of what we've done with our technology stack. We've got some examples of some of the work that we have done. And I guess out of our primary objective at the moment is to partner with people like yourselves, as we know that you have progressive clients that are seeking business intelligence solutions right now. So in terms of what we've identified as mid-market business problems, this is now after an experience of doing 200 plus projects and pilots. A lot of these companies, they've got data everywhere in multiple systems. Some of the reporting out of their software is often poor. I was involved in a publicly listed company a few years back using SAP, and we were using Excel to do all of our reporting. Most of them are defaulting to Excel for reporting, getting tangled up in multiple versions of the truth from various information sources. We had tried what I call a bunch of cookie cutter solutions, but they've not worked for us for the larger companies. And we've seen that most mid-market companies are not employing data science, engineering or analyst capability. And looking at some of the solutions from the big end of town, they're facing an upfront investment of sort of 30 to 50,000 plus, which from our experience and feedback is just not affordable for them. There is a lot of software that's used in the mid-market. I know this is a MYOB event, but I see none of the participants support other software platforms, although our interest in becoming a partner with MYOB is that MYOB does have the biggest share of software used in mid-market. For a lot of the software, the analytics are limited, which is why clients are defaulting to Excel. And just to be clear, we're software agnostic, and we leave the implementations to the experts like yourselves. What we're also seen over the last few years is more integrations of software with other platforms. That's not just Xero or QuickBooks. We're doing some work at the moment over a number of EXO and MYOB advanced clients. They're now hooking up to other CRM systems. We've seen HubSpot used. We're doing a project at the moment with somebody wanting to manage their pipeline using Sugar CRM. There's a number of transport systems that are also hooking to these systems as well. A number of them do have some quite good analytics, but the challenges for our clients is that analytics for a particular solution like, say, HubSpot is not going to provide an analytics solution for other software that's used by clients. So really it's about how do we provide clients with a better solution. This is kind of an example from one of our clients. They talk about focus on shifting the needle every day, and for them it's about starting their day with clarity on what the focus is for their time and the energy. For this particular client, we've automated dashboards across multiple systems in one place. They've now gone from focusing on improving the numbers and not finding them. It is definitely enabling faster and better decisions. There's certainly more improved clarity and accountability. They previously had issues with multiple versions of the truth using Excel. It certainly encouraged more engagement with the teams in terms of what's actually going. And from a bottom line perspective, it's helping growing sales around retention as well, better customer experience. We've got some clients who are sharing dashboards with their clients, and from a cost point of view, it's enabling to optimize operations and release cash. And again, for these clients, it's about shifting the needle every day. So for us, it's really about our partners. It's about taking clients to a new level. Part of that's helping them focus, I think, on the areas that really matter. There's a lot of talk about big data, but in my view, not all data matters. We've seen it's providing opportunities to open up more consulting with clients. Doing some work with the transport business at the moment. There are some issues with their core system around recording that's going to be addressed. There's also an opportunity for that particular provider to provide some other implementations to hook up to some of the other systems that they want to use. We know it certainly can drive more revenue per client. We have been challenged, as I said before, some of the cookie cutter solutions. I think Power BI is a pretty amazing product in terms of where it stands. And then for some of the, I guess, implementers, resellers out there, it enables you to position yourselves, I guess, as a leader, because not everybody's taking up this challenge, including the accounting industry. I guess from our perspective, with the hard yards that we put in, we can help jumpstart your journey today. But there are certainly some barriers to extracting value from data. I think the technology's changed hugely from when I started out as a management accountant, even before Excel was around. Probably key to our model is a combination of what McKinsey call business translators or business experts and data experts. We only use the business experts in the discovery phase because they have the depth of knowledge and what business is looking for. We have struggled to train some of our Excel jockeys to become experts in Power BI, and we've also found they don't have the data engineering skills and capability to go with that. So we focus more on bringing on board data graduates and training them up in both the visualization side and also data engineering. Next, I'd just like to cover off probably our kind of strategy. We view ourselves as a virtual BI product and service, probably not unlike what we're doing around a virtual CFO service. We want to make this service affordable to clients, and the way we're looking to do that is to replicate solutions over software platforms and industry verticals, where we can provide a base solution that can then be tailored as required, and we do that on a subscription service. We think it's pretty important to have an end-to-end automated solution. We don't ever want to be moving data manually. Our objective is to connect to all software that's used by the mid-market. And just to give it some perspective, we've now done 200 plus pilots and projects. All of the developments that we've done have been off the back of client work. We decided not to develop solutions and then look for customers. I guess a lot of it was just born out of our frustration trying to use other products in 2015 and 2017, just with their inability to be flexible enough for what our clients actually wanted. Microsoft Power BI Pro is our software of choice. They rank pretty high on the Gartner study, but I guess there's other studies that show that other people are leaders. And I noticed on the list of participants today, there are others who are using Focus, Tableau, and Click. We began our search to look for a BI solution in 2015 and 2016. We originally trialled and looked at the likes of Tableau, Click, and also SciScience, but at that stage, at $2,000 a seat up front, was just not affordable for our client base. So we discovered Power BI just over 2 years ago, but we've also learned a few things along that journey. Originally, we started using Power BI workspaces, which no longer exists. We then transitioned to Power BI Embedded earlier this year, and a couple of months ago we moved on to Microsoft Power BI Pro. We had some challenges with Embedded in terms of how the pricing model works, just in terms of usage. There are still some limitations. You can't export to PowerPoint or PDF. And if you want to have a mobile application, you have to build your own. Other issues we've come across, or you may have come across, is some of the other box connectors don't get to all of the end data points that you'd like. So we have built our connectors to the likes of Xero and QuickBooks. Power BI doesn't have a lot of connectors to software that's used in the mid-market, and we've built out some of those. There are some data storage limits, and from our experience, to make all of this work and hang it together, you need some ETL technology, which is extract, transform, and load. We invested quite early on in the stage with ETL technology because we saw that was quite potentially a blockage to what we were trying to achieve. So I just thought I'd cover off for you the technology stack that we have. It is enterprise grade, and we've had it reviewed by a top 4 CA firm. We are able to work with other databases and BI platforms such as Amazon and also Tableau and Click. I guess I said before that the 2 challenges that we've had through the whole process, one is to be able to connect and transform data, and the second is being able to zoom in on insights that are really relevant to what businesses need, and they're all different for each business. Probably the other challenge in terms of the data source side is not every system software has an API, and not all APIs are equal. We're dealing with some solutions at the moment who will only give us part access to some of the data endpoints. In a couple of situations, we have built bots to hook up to systems like My Trucking and also eRoad. Probably a key thing we've learned around really is Smetric X, which is around extract, transform, and load. I'm not giving away all of my trade secrets, but within the transformation side, we're building libraries of functions and complex measures that you can't do in Power BI. We're also able to do machine learning, and we're doing some work around customer churn models and forecasting. And we're also using other technologies within the transformation piece using R, Python, and Snowflake. And the whole idea of that is to be able to have an end-to-end solution without having to move data manually. We've also got the ability to what I call orchestrate the updating of data into dashboards. Now there are also some limitations on where that data comes from and limits around API use. So what I thought I'd do now is just move to a wholesale distribution demonstration that we have, which is actually on our website. This may take a little time to load. So This is something we've done a while back. It's a wholesale distribution business. It's on MYOB Exonet. We extracted data at line item on invoice level. Client was really interested to see what was happening with their sales. So through here you can see what's happened sort of year on year, month by month. They were interested in understanding what was happening with essentially by sales rep. See if that changes. Again, we're having some issues with just the speed of things over Zoom with our site. Yeah, so they were interested in what was happening with different product groups. They wanted to see what was happening with new and old customers. They had also categorized what was happening with different clients. They wanted to track the performance of what was happening with sales reps. And they also wanted to see what was happening across all the regions. So the next slide I'm going to, and again, if you log onto our site, you'll be able to go and check these out at some of the live demo login. So what we've seen as part of this, it's really been some cool insights that we've been able to give their salespeople on what areas are up and down to previous years. That could be by salesperson, by sales region, or by product group. We've developed this further with some new clients where we're actually managing on we're reporting for them on a daily basis the spend by all clients so far during the month compared to the previous month and the same month last year. And that's enabled them to identify those clients who have stopped purchasing for some reason, and that's enabled them to have some phone conversations around that. So from that point of view, it's all about retention. Just another example, we could do essentially sales by customer, we can do them by product. Here's just an example, I guess, of how sales have travelled during that time, but also being able to show at a salesperson level, split out which accounts are up or down compared to last year. And then also a key thing is to help clients understand where their margins, how margin performing is looking across their group, to spot opportunities, how can they sell more, better margin products, and what are the strategies around dealing with some of the lower performing ones. Again, here's another kind of picture and slice on that by product. By products. It's not in this feature, but for one client, they're now interested in having a look at what the spend is of a client over the last year or two and what that spend is, and their sales reps are using that in discussions that they have with their clients. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of what's possible. We found Power BI is pretty intuitive for people to use. We're probably not in the camp of what I call self-serve. For the work we do with clients, we've identified the key areas that they want to have a look at, and we set up those dashboards. So it's more of a self-select process rather than self-serve, because even in the corporate space, we've seen that some of their teams have really struggled to pick up how to use analytics, and so self-select is a much easier option. So just go back to the slide presentation. I'll just go quickly through. Here's an example of a client who's on MYOB EXO. They were using HubSpot, but have decided now to go to MYOB EXO CRM because it has a much better ability to actually track what's happening in the pipeline. So again, they're interested in seeing what's happening with the pipeline stage. We've anonymized all of this. customer categories, and also staff name. So they can get a glance just to see where everything is at. These people are interested in having a look at this on an hourly basis. Here's another set of dashboards that we have done with a client, which is wholesale distribution. They are on Sun7 and they use HubSpot. They had previously tried to do all of this in Excel, so they have what they call 7 drivers, which they look at every morning. They've got particular dashboards for their finance team, sales rep reports, and that can go down to individual sales reps. They're interested in what's happening with marketing activities across the business, customer services, where purchasing issues are at, what's happening with orders, what's happening in the warehouse, and also customer analysis. And again, the advantage for them, Sun7 and HubSpot are relatively good products, but again, with the multiple use of systems, having all the data in one place has certainly made life a lot easier for them. And I'd say we've probably freed up about 20 hours a week with the solution we've done for them. Here's some anonymised version of what they call these 7 drivers. I personally don't like these kites type of charts, but that's what they wanted, so that's what we could provide them. So yeah, they want to see whether they're on track year to date around sales, what's happening with customer orders, what's happening with leads, where they are at on costs. Retention is a big thing for them, conversion of new business, and also gross margins. Now we have a number of clients now on Sun7, and I'll show you another one. But we've actually found, because they're all slightly different businesses, they have a different view on what they want to see. And so we have to be able to accommodate that. So part of our strategy is to grab data at a low level to avoid having to do aggregations when we have to do different formats. That becomes very time consuming. The next slide over is for a business that provides feed to dairy farmers for Fonterra and Farmlands, which is based in the Taranaki. They had 2 issues. One, they had issues with farmers phoning up at the last moment to order a delivery of feed because they'd run out, and they've had trucks sitting around in the yard all week. And the second is they're spending hours each day trying to share Excel spreadsheets with both Fonterra and Farmlands. So we've developed a solution for them where we could actually look at past purchasing patterns of farmers, and we're able to say that we expect these farmers to place an order this week, and we're able to identify for them where orders had not been placed, and we'd actually linked into phone numbers as well, so that enable their dispatch staff to actually phone farmers up to avoid the urgent deliveries and get better utilisation of their fleet and less stress. The next one is the same business. They are required to report information back to Fonterra in terms of dispatches and deliveries every day. They want to see that by depot. They want to see that information by carrier, and they want to know really where did they deliver on time. This was also used to essentially manage some of the carriers and also manage expectations with their major client, which is Fonterra, and this information was available, was refreshed every morning. So I guess our broad strategy at the moment, after spending 2 years doing this, is to scale Smetric Insights in both New Zealand and Australia. That's off the back of basically the software used in both countries is pretty similar or pretty common. We do have some clients in Australia now. Our CIO spends half his time between Australia and New Zealand, and we realise for us to scale, we actually have to partner with other players for all or part of the solution. So for us, we're exploring options with chartered accounting firms that can support the discovery phase and ongoing advisory. this is a big opportunity for chartered accounting firms if they understand that, and there's some that do. Working with software platforms is key to us, and we've now got a partnership in place with MYOB, Microsoft, and others. We are interested in working closely with software resellers and implementers to partner with them, and there are a few partnerships going on in that space at the moment. So probably for some of them are now getting requests to provide deeper analytics on a number of systems, and they've come to us because they've said they don't really want to, I guess, invest in the technology to support that and to build a team of data experts. Probably the last plank that we're working on is other industry expert alliances. So there's some sales and marketing groups that we're working with. They see the advantage to be able to provide analytic solutions to their clients, which is helping their clients become a bit more stickier, and they can provide a lot more insights. Transport is an area that we're specialising in, and likewise with the building industry, we've got a number of associates who provide sort of advisory and operational services into that space. So that's the end of my presentation. So I'm happy to take any questions or queries that anybody may have.